Next part in soil structure is the clay-water relationship. If we are talking about the clayey soil, so the presence of water affects the soil structure of the clayey soil. But if we are talking about the granular soil, then in that case the presence of water does not affect the structure of the granular soil. So the water is a dipolar molecule. It means that the positive and negative charges which are there in water, their Cg do not coincide with each other, so it behaves as a bar magnet. And soil particle also carry negative charge on the surface and positive on the edges. So it carries negative charge on the near the surfaces and positive near the edges. It is because, for example, we saw in the silica sheet, the top of the sheet is, and also the bottom, it is made up of oxygen atoms. So in the ionic form it has some negative charge on the surface, so because of that this negative charge is there on the clay particle surface. And so there are three mechanisms for clay water interaction. First is the attraction between negatively charged face of clay and positive ends of dipole. It means the dipole will come closer to the clay particle surface and the positive charge on the dipole will come closer to the face of the clay particle. And the second is the cation in water and negative charge ends of dipole. So if we are talking water as the cation and anion, then the cation part will come closer to the face of the clay particle surface and it will interact with clay particle. And third is the hydrogen and water and oxygen or hydroxyl on the surface of clay crystals. It is basically because of the hydrogen bond. So this is the water molecule, this is oxygen, and here it will be hydrogen. So because hydrogen gives shares its electron with oxygen, so there will be a net positive charge on the hydrogen, so it will come closer to the negative face of the soil particle. So these are the three ways with which soil and water interact with each other. And next is the electrical double layer. So if you are talking about the clay particle, so what will happen if this is the clay particle and so it is a negative charge near the surface. So near the surface this water molecule will be highly oriented, and so they will be very close to each other, and for some distance it will remain like this, and as we go above, so this concentration will decrease, and here these ions will not be as oriented as these are near the surface. So this part of the layer we call it as the rigid layer, and this part we call as diffused layer. And after that, after if we go further distance, so there will be normal water, it will not be oriented. So near the surface of the clay particle these water molecules are highly oriented, and because of that it behaves as a part of this clay particle. You cannot separate this water at normal temperature or up to the temperature of 105 to 110 degrees Celsius. So it will stick to this clay particle surface, and so it behaves as a single clay particle only, and these two combinedly these are called as a electrical double layer. So the thickness of this electrical double layer will depend upon the valency of cations in the clay particles. So if we are using a higher valence, if there is a higher valence cation in the clay particle, so what will happen, there will be less net negative charge. So this negative charge will decrease because if valency of cation is more, so because of that less water particles will come closer, and because of that thickness of double layer will be smaller. And the next part is the cation exchange capacity. So it means the ability of clay particles to absorb ions on its surface and edges. So because the clay particles have higher specific surface means that surface area divided by its volume. So it has a higher area corresponding to its volume. So because of that, it can absorb cations easily, and so that cation exchange capacity depends upon what is the mineral structure and the size of particles. So if it is a bigger part if it is a bigger size particle, then bigger size particle means if the valency is more, then it can easily replace the lower valence cation. And mineral structure, if we talk about, so montmorillonite has the maximum cation exchange capacity, and kaolinite has the least cation exchange capacity, and in between illite comes. So depending upon these capacities, the various cations are grouped as aluminum cation has the maximum cation exchange capacity, so it can easily replace other cations, and after that comes the calcium ion, and then the magnesium, and after that potassium, hydrogen, sodium, and then lithium. So this quality is of practical use when it comes to soil stabilization. So in that case, when there is soil of sodium montmorillonite, so that soil has a high swelling behavior. So it is controlled by using calcium ion. So calcium ion, because it has a greater exchange capacity, so it can easily replace the sodium ion in the soil structure. So and then calcium montmorillonite does not swell as much as the sodium montmorillonite, so it is used for the soil stabilization purpose, and it is expressed as the weight of cation which may be held upon the surface of 100 gram of dry soil material. Now that's it for this. And then is the clay particle interaction. So the clay particles are never alone, they are surrounded by this adsorbed water layer. So when they come very close to each other, so then only these forces between the particle come into picture, and because these are coming in contact through this adsorbed water layer, so the characteristics, what are the factors such as the ions present in water, ions present and their concentration, size, these affect their interaction of the clay particles. So depending upon these, if they come close to each other and the potential energy decreases, and so then they attract each other, and if the net force attraction, then the structure which will form, it will be flocculated. So if the net force is attractive, then the flocculated structure will form, and similarly if they are repulsing each other, and so the net force is repulsive, so the dispersed structure will form. Now in case of dispersed structure, the this kind of shape forms, that is the edge to edge, and in case of flocculated structure, face to edge kind of structure forms. So the obviously in this case void ratio is less, and in this case it is more. So this is it for this one.